What I want you to be able to do when you're watching this video is to be able to follow along with the different parts of it, and as you're doing that, you're taking an example on the next slide that you're going to then put into your notes with the work. So we're just breaking this into smaller chunks in order for all these concepts around addition of fractions to make sense. So what I have for you is I want to be able to show you 1/5 plus 2/5. And so if I have here, if I divide this into fifths, this rectangle, I know I have 1/5, and I'm adding 2 more fifths. Right, this was for the 1/5, this here was for the 2/5. And I can see together, I know that I have created 3/5 as my sum. So a nice thing that I can see is that my denominator stays the same because the space stayed exactly the same. And then I'm just combining how many I have of each of those. Excuse me. What I'd like you right now in your notes to put in a title of adding fractions. And then I want you to put this example in there, please, with work. I'd like you to put in 3/7 plus 2/7. When you're done, so you're going to pause the video, and then when you're done putting that in your notes with a title, then you're going to move on to the next slide and play it again. Now we have a case here where we have different denominators. So if I have 1/4, I'm going to just move this way to make it a little bit easier for myself. Alright, so I'm going to go to halves here, and then I'm going to go to fourths. So I have 1/4. And then here I have 2/3. So I'm going to break it into thirds, and I'm going to color this in. Now the thing that's hard for me is I don't know exactly where things line up. And because if I'm not drawing things perfectly, like this bottom third looks a little bit bigger than the top third, then it might not be as accurate as what I need it to be. So what I'm going to do is instead I'm going to combine this into another rectangle. And I'm going to think about what can I use that fourths and thirds can both go into. Excuse me. And I know I can take my thirds and I can divide those into fourths, or I could have done the other way too. And so what's happening each time is that I'm now moving from thirds and bringing the fourths in, and now I'm at 12ths. So I'm using a common denominator of 12. So what I want to do now is I want to be able to find an equivalent fraction for both 1/4 and 2/3 and see what I get. And we're going to show this, I'm going to show it as a picture, and I'm going to show it in terms of the math. Alright, so, sorry about that erasing, it took a while. Alright, so let's go here with 1/4. And we know our denominator is going to be 12, and 2/3, and our denominator is going to be 12. So now I'm going to show with work how I'm going from one to the other. To go from 4 to 12, I'm going to multiply by 3. I'm going to multiply the 1 by 3, so I'm multiplying by really 3/3, or 1. Sorry, 1 times 3 is 3. So now I have 3/12. Then I'm going to multiply here. To go from 3 to 12, I multiply by 4. I'm going to multiply the numerator by 4. And 2 times 4 is 8. Just to show the different numbers. Okay, so then I have the 3/12 here. I'm going to shade that in. Here are my 3/12. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to shade in my 8/12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I can see that I have shaded in 3/12 and 8/12 to get to, 3/12 plus 8/12 equals 11/12. So it's 11/12. So what I can see here is I just make a common denominator. That was my first step. Then my second step was to find the equivalent fraction. And then just like you already put in your notes, I have my denominators stay the same. My 12s stay the same. And I just add my 8 and my 3 to get to 11. Okay, I'm going to ask you, and now I'm going to ask you to write this problem down in your notes. Please, I'm going to ask you to write down, let's go with 2 2/5 plus 1/4. And I want you to solve that in your notes with work. When you're done doing that, then you're going to pause the video. When you're done, start the video again. I'm going to take the same thinking now, and instead I'm going to move to mixed numbers. So I have 4.5 plus 3 2/5. Again, I need a common denominator. So I think to myself, what can 2 and 5 both go into? And they both go into 10. So I have my common denominator, step 1. Now I'm going to find my equivalent fractions. So I multiply my numerator and denominators by the same things. 5 times 2 is 10, 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 5 is 10. So 1 times 5 is 5. And now I have enough information to be able to solve this one. Here I go. So I'm going to take care of my 5/10 plus my 4/10, which is 9/10. Because thinking back again, if I went back to tenths, if I have 5 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I have another 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm still in tenths, and I have 9 of them now. So my denominator stays the same. I'm just combining my numerators. Now the thing that I have to remember on a problem like this is that I also have these whole numbers to combine to. So 4 plus 3 is 7. So I have an answer of 7 and 9/10. The problem I'd like you to put in your notes from this that will be similar is, excuse me, 2 and 1/3 plus, let's go with 4 and 2/7. So pause the video, do that problem in your notes with work, and then start it again. This is where it gets to be a little bit more interesting with what we've seen. So we're going to follow the same thing we know. I'm going to line up my fractions, and I like lining them up like this so I can see the new denominator and the equivalent fraction. So 3 and 4 both are both factors of 12, so I'm going to use 12. I could also use 24 if I wanted, or 60, anything that they both go into. But 12 is the smallest, so I'd rather use smaller numbers rather than bigger numbers. So 4 times 3 is 12, so 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, and then I'm going to use here 3 times 4 is 12, 2 times 4 is 8. So I'm ready to add my fractions now, which is great. All right, so I have 8/12 and 9/12. So again, my denominator stays the same, and 8 plus 9 is 17, so I have 17/12. Then I just have to remember my whole number. 6 plus 5 is 11. Now, I'm imagining that you here are saying something behind the video, that 17/12 is an improper fraction. So just remember that 17/12, I'm going to break that apart. I could say that's 12/12, which is, we know, is 1 whole, plus another 5/12. So another way I could write this problem is to say it's 1 plus 12/12. Sorry, not 1. 11 plus 12/12 plus 5/12. That 12/12 is really also known as 1. So it's 11 plus 1 plus 5/12, or 12 and 5/12. And you don't have to write out this step here, or this step here, or this step here. You don't have to write that out. If you can see this can move to 1 and 5/12 and just become 12 and 5/12, that's totally great too. All right, so here we go. I'm going to now give you a problem that I want to see you put in your notes, and then when you're done, you can show me, and then you can start your worksheet. Okay, could you please have, let's go with 4 and 3/5 plus 8 and let's go with 9/10. So again, put that question up here in your notes with work, and then when you're done, call me over.